Hey, today we're gonna create our own Fujifilm recipe. As many of you may already know, Fujifilm recipes work as filters over any Fujifilm simulations that come within the camera. So yeah, let's dive into it. Well, the first thing we're gonna need is to download the Fujifilm Edge Raw Studio application. For that, we're gonna go to the fujifilm-edge.com website. From there, we're gonna go to support. Under the downloads column, we'll click on software. And there, we're gonna look for the Fujifilm Raw Studio. In my case, I'm gonna click on Mac. From there, we're gonna agree with the terms and click on download in order to begin downloading the app. What else we're gonna need in order to create our own Fujifilm recipe? Well, we're gonna need a Fujifilm camera, the one that you usually use or the one that we're gonna get our raw files from. It has to be the same camera. Then USB-C cable, and finally the raw files that we're gonna use in order to fine-tune our own Fujifilm recipe. After having that all set up, I'm gonna turn on the camera. We're gonna go to menu, then we're gonna go to connection mode, US RAW conversion backup store. We're gonna select that in order to be able to connect our camera to our computer, and that's gonna allow us to use the Fujifilm app in order to create our own Fujifilm recipe. After connecting our camera to our computer through our USB-C cable, we're gonna open the Fujifilm Edge app. This is an important notice. If you're having trouble to connect your camera to your computer, it's most likely the USB-C cable. Just try another one and keep trying another one until it connects. Mine connected the fourth try, so yeah, it is what it is. Some people prefer to use like different type of photos in order to work on the Fujifilm recipe. Some like to use sunny, bright photos as well as overcast photos. In my case, I'm just focusing on sunny day photos because that's my thing, so I don't see any need to use different type of photos. Some of you are gonna criticize me or are gonna just tear me apart on the comments, and I will definitely like to hear you, so feel free. Yeah, let's do it. Once we have connected our camera to our computer through our USB-C cable, we need to open the Fujifilm Edge app and navigate to the folder where we have our raw files that we're gonna use to create our Fujifilm recipe. In my case, this is the folder where I have the raw files that I want to work with. As you can see, I have some that I randomly taken for this particular case. As you can see, the light is pretty nice, except for the indoor photo, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna work on this. Some people prefer to use just photos with a high dynamic range in 400. In my case, I just use the one that I usually have. Just bear in mind that if you eventually wanna shoot some photos in 400 HDR, you will probably gonna have to recalibrate your Fujifilm recipe. In our case, we're gonna use this photo because I think it's pretty colorful. It has warm and cold colors, as a kite. You can see the skin tone. So yeah, we might want to work with this one. Quick pause. If you are wondering why the hell am I wearing sunglasses, it's just a way to cope with camera shyness, I guess. So yeah, that's it. Once we have our camera connected to our computer and working on our Fujifilm Edge Raw Studio app, we can actually start creating our Fujifilm recipe. The main section here is this one, where we have all our processing options. We're not gonna care much about the first 6 ones because these are pretty much camera preferences. So we're gonna start on the film simulation one. Here we can actually change the raw file to any of the Fujifilm Fujifilm simulations that we have in our camera, which is pretty neat. In our case, we're gonna leave it in Provia. Next one, we have the grain effect. In this case, I'm choosing to apply some. I'm gonna set it on weak. We can also choose the size of the grain effect. I'm gonna leave it in small. Next one, we have the color chrome effect. This deepens or darkens highly saturated warm colors like reds, oranges, purples. We're gonna leave it in off. Next, we have the color chrome effect blue. This one deepens or darkens only blue tones like skies or water. We're gonna leave it in off. Next one, we have the smooth skin effect. We're gonna leave it as it is. Then we have the white balance. I'm actually gonna leave it as it is as well, as shot, because I already had my white balance set on my camera, so I don't plan to change it here. From the white balance shift is where we actually start creating our Fujifilm recipe. This is where it starts to get fun. In my case, I would like to have like a warmer picture. This might be a bit too much. Maybe here, I like that one. That is not too much. Maybe more on the red side or just yellow. Yeah, we're gonna leave it there. As I already told you, I like to make my photos a little bit warmer than they are. That's just a preference of mine. You can obviously do as you want. We're gonna leave it there for now. Then we have the highlight tone. I usually don't care much. The only thing I care about highlights is that they are not blown up. Then the shadow tone. I usually like desaturated photos. It's just, again, something I like. In this case, I'm gonna turn it a bit down, maybe a bit more. If you like more contrasty photos, you can obviously give it more contrast by augmenting the shadow tone. In my case, I'm just gonna leave it at the lowest one because that's my preference. In color, I would like to have it desaturated just because I'm seeing the raw file in Provia film simulation, so maybe one more. That is a bit too much. Yeah, maybe just that. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it on -1. The sharpness, I don't really care much about sharpness. It's pretty sharp. Maybe in order to get that more of film-like feeling, I'm just gonna reduce the sharpness. Maybe that is too much. I'm gonna leave it on -2, -1, -2 probably. The high ISO, we're gonna leave it as it is. Clarity, we're just gonna leave it as it is. Then comes the lens modulation optimizer, we're gonna leave it as on. Color space, we're gonna leave it as it is. And then that's pretty much it. So to recap, we pretty much added some grain. We kept the grain small. We did some white balance shift, making the photo a bit warmer. Then we reduced the shadow tone so we can get less contrast in our photo. That's because I like my photos that way. If you have something to say about it, you can just leave your comments below. I would love to read them. Then the color, we desaturated a little bit the photo. We reduced the sharpness in order to take out that distinct trait of digital camera. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Then we're gonna convert this photo. Once we click in convert, the JPEG file of this photo is gonna be saved in the same folder as the raw files. But first, we gotta see how this works on the other photos. Here we can see the Provia initial, and then we can see how it looks with our recipe. Now we can copy conversion profile, then we can paste it here. This is the original Provia profile. Then we can paste the conversion profile in order to see how this photo will look with our recipe. Yeah, I kind of like it. What about this one? Again, this is Provia with our recipe. That is Provia. That particular photo and the next one, I actually took it on a smoky day. We have wildfires south in the States, and the light that day was a bit golden, so these were already warm photos. That's the original, and that's with the conversion profile. That's the original in Provia. And now if we apply our Fujifilm recipe, this is how it will look. Not much change there, which I like. Again, Provia profile, and then our Fujifilm Recipe. This is the Provia profile, and this one is with our recipe. This photo is fairly colorful. This is how it looks with the Provia Fujifilm simulation, and this is how it looks with our Fujifilm Recipe. Once we are content with our Fujifilm Recipe, we can proceed to save it on our camera. For this, we're gonna go up here and we're gonna click on save. We have to choose one of the slots. I'm gonna choose the number 1, and I'm gonna name this recipe Naga Chrome V1. Okay, then it will appear here. So that pretty much means that we already have this Fujifilm Recipe saved in our camera, ready to be used whenever we want. Now that we have our film recipe, we're gonna go outside and try it. If you got to this point, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you need help with video editing, don't hesitate to contact me on my website, namineken.com. And yeah, see ya next time. Bye.